Okay, so today I'm going to be tying a Prince Nymph. This is a pretty traditional fly that can be used on any river, and no box should be without. So I'm using a number 710 size 16 Dairiki hook, and I got a little gold bead head on the top. So first thing you're going to want to do is I like to use lead wire. At 0.015. This is pretty light lead. I have 0.020 and 0.025, but this is light because of how small the fly is. So you're going to take just a little bit of lead wire, and you're going to take about 10 to 20 hooks wraps around the hook shank. That looks pretty good, like that. And then you're going to want to snip the rest of it off, like so, and then push it up into that bead head. So what this is basically doing is it's securing your bead head in place so that you don't have to really do much with it, and it's not going to be getting in the way. And then just trim a little bit off. You do want it to be, you go about where the bend of the hook is, like the point right here. You don't want it to be in there, so kind of just cut it off like that. So yeah, there's just like a little gap in between. That's looking perfect. So now what you're going to do is you're going to want to take your thread. I'm using a Unithread 136 denier 6 watt rust brown color. This is going to work pretty good for the Prince Nymph because it's going to give it that extra flair. I like to use rust brown because it just gives it a little characteristic. Black and white is fine, but this is good too. So you're going to want to build a little dam up in the back of it here by wrapping backwards, securing that line on, and then build it up forward. And so that's just going to secure the lead in place. Going to readjust my hook a little bit. Perfect. And then just go ahead and snip your line off. Boom, so your line's secure. I don't know why that's like that. Okay, so now just take a few wraps forward. Get that nice and secure. Boom, boom, boom. Like so. So, now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use, just take this and wrap all the way back to the hook shank about to where the barb would be, but I had pre-pinched the barb because we're fishing barbless hooks, to like where the barb was, and just let your line go down. And now we're going to be using brown goose biots. So these things are kind of slippery, and where these are going to be for the tail. So basically what we're going to do is take two of these, and they're kind of hard to get, but you just manage to get two out. You'll see when you have them. But that's one, and that's two. Just clip two of them out. 1, 2. These things are so slippery. Okay. So you're going to get them in place the way you want them, like this, and line them up on both sides that they splay out. And then pinch, wrap forward, pinch, wrap forward again. Check them, that looks pretty good. Wrap forward, and then just wrap backwards in there. Try not to touch the camera here with my thread. All right, yeah. So just get them all nice in there like that, and then they're pretty secured. So just pinch them off, like that. Wrap forward, and now you got a really nice tapered body. So a tapered body in a fly is how it starts kind of thick up top here, and then it gets kind of thinner in the back. So kind of just build that taper up, and then we're gonna go back to where we were. Let me adjust the focus here. There we go. Like looks better. Okay, so back to where you were, right about there. And I like to use, we're gonna use, where is it? All right, so we're gonna use gold, extra small, super thin thread. So, but this stuff gives the fly kind of a flash. I like to tie it in. Some people use copper, some people use silver, but I really like the gold. So you get yourself a good amount. I mean, you're gonna want to use as much as you can, so don't go too light on it. And just tie that right on in. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that's tied in. Leave that there for now. Now we're gonna use some peacock curl. Yeah, so now we're gonna use peacock curl, and peacock curl is really great for building up the body of your fly. So this is what it looks like in a big old bunch, like this, peacock curl. So just get yourself 2 nice strands. Should have probably pre-selected this before, but those look pretty good. 2 equal length strands, like so. Get your materials out of the way there. Oh, straggler. And then you're gonna want to kind of see how there's all this like kind of dead stuff at the end here. We don't want that, so you're just gonna clip a little bit of it off like that, and then I like to just grab my fingers here and pull on the stuff so it just exposes what you want, which is the brown stuff that's underneath all the feathers. So make sure they're lined up when you tie them in, like so. And then you're gonna wrap right where you were, and should be pinching, you should pinch. You're gonna wrap right where you were, pinch, pull down, and then go ahead, just secure those in place. And now you can wrap you can take your thread and go all the way up, but you're gonna wanna leave a gap, a little gap right in between the bead and where your thread is. This will come in later. You'll see why. So now you're gonna take your peacock curl and take your your little grabbers here, these things, and you're gonna grab the end of them like so. Just twist. Get them nice and twisted in there. And then sometimes people wrap with them. I don't like to wrap with them, honestly. I just twist it with my hands. But, so you're gonna get them and you're gonna twist them like so. And then just go ahead and wrap forward. 1. Just keep on wrapping. Make sure that wrap is nice and tight. That's why you want to twist them so that they stay together, which I didn't really do so well. Yep. You can always go backwards. Just keep wrapping that body up and kind of want to make it thicker as it progresses up the hook shank. Of course, I grabbed the shorter ones of the bunch. I can make it work though. Boom, just like that. And now, just tie it off. 1, 2. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, snip those off. Now take your gold thread that you'd done and do open spirals up the hook shank. Don't want it too close together, just kind of spaced out enough so that it kind of really secures that peacock herl into there in case you hadn't pulled down enough, and it gives it that extra flare, which I really like. And tie that stuff off. And don't use your best tying scissors in the world, because this stuff will definitely make them not as sharp. Make sure you got that all secured in. Build up a little body in there. Get a wrap backwards so it's all secured in there. Now, this gets pretty fun. So, what you're gonna want to do is take some hackle. I'm using some pretty nice dry fly hackle right here, but you really don't have to use that nice stuff. I'm gonna use the feathers down here because these ones are really long and for dry flies. So just like I'll show you how long you want it. It's kind of just in that middle area, but I'd say one of these is probably pretty good. So yeah, just one like that. That'll do the trick. And so with this, you're gonna want to snip it so that you get all this white stuff out. You don't want all that white, just a little bit of it out. Bloop, bloop. And then take your fingers and get rid of the rest of the white so that it just exposes the line out in the feather. And then go ahead and tie that right on in. Right up to the top of the hook shank. And then take it like this, and you're gonna wrap it around. About 3 to 4 is pretty good. You don't need too much. 1, 2, 3, 3.5. That's pretty good. Don't want to crowd it too much. Just tie it in there. Snip that off. And now you're going to take your fingers like this and pull all the threads back, just leaving this little bead right here. And then wrap backwards a couple so that it really secures those hackles in there. And then just a couple. You don't want to overwrap. I overwrapped a little bit. That looks good. And so you see those are secured and they're going backwards. That's exactly what we want. So now we're going to use the same thing we used before, like the brown ones, but we're going to use white biots. So you don't want to get all this hackle right here on the top. So you're just going to take some hackle scissors and go right down on the top and just nip those off because you can get a nice flat surface. Don't nip too much of the side off, but you definitely want it flat on top. There we go. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks money. So now, this is going to take me a little bit, but you got to take 2 of these. I think my problem was I grabbed 3 last time. Pull them off. Boom. Now, these are going to do one at a time. So just put one down and make sure it's bending downwards. And you're going to drop it so it's about the length of the hook shank, like right back towards that tail. And you're going to, now, this is the important part, is you're going to take your scissors. I'm going to use these ones because these are really sharp. And you're going to drop it so that the scissors drop right on the other side of the bead, and you're going to feel that. And that's where you're going to cut it. So that little thing is right where the bead drops. and then you're gonna just make sure that's tilted a little bit the other way and go 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks pretty good. Secure that one. So now you're gonna take another one of these. Take another one of these, make sure it's the same length there. That looks pretty good. Take some really sharp ones. Drop it down in there like so. Make sure you like where it is. That looks pretty good. Take your thread and go right on top and just go 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks pretty good. We got a little bit up top, but no one's gonna notice that when we put the head cement on. Boom, like that, and that's your fly. So now take our whip finish. This part's pretty fun. So this is your whip finish tool, and you're gonna take it, whip finish it off. 1, 2, 3. I like to do 2 just to make sure. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Make sure your thread is not going anywhere. Pull down a little bit. Snip that thread off. Boop. Now take a little head cement here. Don't go too light on the head cement. Always go a little extra. Dress the top like that. Now, can't really do that. It's fine. I'll just dress the bottom like this. Dress the bottom. Keep it a little below, pull backwards a little bit. Boom, that thing's nice and head dressed. And there you have it. That, my friend, is a Prince Nymph. It's a little wet because of the head cement, but yeah, that's it. So here you go. That's the finished Prince Nymph.